Thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Falls from Iron. Please don't forget to drop a like on the stream, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Duke, what are they doing with that bell tonight, my friend? Decisions.
I'm not going to make like of it. I just like you to click on the bell. I'm not going to make light of anything. I'm not going to make a joke. I'm not going to say nothing. Just give that bell a tap.
Give the bell a tap. You know it makes sense. We're here to discuss the match that took place at London Stadium last night, Duke. I was fortunate enough to be there along with two of my three offspring. I don't know, obviously, because you were obviously at the pub doing your thing. Mate, I don't know what you made of the match. It was exactly what I thought it was going to be. It was a bit of a dog with fleas, to be perfectly honest with you.
It was a what?
It wasn't a very good game.
Right, okay. All I heard there was dog with fleas, and I felt a little bit concerned. I'm not going to lie. I've never heard that phrase.
Have you not? It's a phrase that Paul Hawksby on TalkSport uses quite a lot to describe something that's not very good.
Okay.
I have used it on this channel before.
I don't think I've ever heard you say. No, it was dog shit, bro. It was quite poor. It was painful to watch. I just actually before we 10 out of 10 for those at the ground for the tribute before the kickoff. And in the 7th minute, I won't lie, I cried. I watched obviously Nicola's video statement beforehand, and I cried at that as well. I'm going to be honest with you. And listen, absolutely tremendous. People were amazing. And so a couple of my customers asked me what we were clapping for. I explained to them, and they joined in the clapping, which they didn't have to. It was amazing. I went round and hugged a couple of them as a way of thank you. So well done to everyone that was at the ground, and for everyone that was home, like me, or at the pub that were clapping as well. Well done to you guys. Now,
Sharky.
Yeah, it wasn't given. You can't not do it, can you, Gacy? I think that's the problem. Given what's come over the last couple of days, we were on a hiding to nothing, regardless. Really, we could have gone out there and put in the performance of a lifetime, and it wouldn't have mattered. In the grand scheme of things, it wouldn't have mattered. Dog shit performance. It's what they deserve. Brilliant performance. Well, that's not what they deserve. And Ken's
agreed.
Right. I think it was a very lackluster, very I don't know.
Typical game. It was what we was expecting, though, wasn't it? Like I say, it was. Yeah. It was. And listen, and I'm not saying this to sort of like to disrespect. Listen, Roy Hodgson has managed around Europe. He has managed international teams. He's managed club teams. He's managed teams on the continent. And you don't do that if you're a complete and total mug. And exactly this. He got his credit to Roy in his setup. We got a lucky goal. Couldn't see us breaking them down. Otherwise, evening, Scott. Hope you're well. He will always put out a team that is tough to crack, a tough nut to crack. Might not be pleasing on the eye. In the sort of like the and again, this is not meant as any disrespect, but sort of like an Allardyce, a Steve Bruce. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You know that you're going to face a team that are going to be dogged, determined, organised, resolute. But they're not dogged. But they're not going to be particularly free flowing most of the time. Do you know what I mean? So I could see. I said this in the pre-match. I said that I thought that this match was going to be far from entertaining. Was probably going to be something of a bore fest, and I wasn't proved wrong. I'm sad to say.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I was a bit concerned, and I was it worried me. It worried me. Private chat. Private chat, Mr. Rob.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping, if I'm honest, I really there was I had issues with the game coming around when it did. Yeah, I think we find ourselves in a certain situation where we've got to be careful.
Mm.
We have to be careful with now how we come across what we do, etc.
Yeah.
And I I mean, if you take a look at the lineup, and again, it's going to be very difficult to talk about this game without talking about it, shall we say? Yeah.
Are you talking about the inclusion of a certain Frenchman?
Yeah, and there's certain Mr. Zouma, and obviously what's came from it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you listen. At the end of the day, we rocked up at London Stadium yesterday, and
I'll tell you what. Let's cut to the chase. Were you surprised to see him in the starting 11?
I was surprised, but I was pleased.
Okay.
Listen, you've got to stay positive. You've got to stay positive in all of this. Mm-hmm. Okay, and listen, as Moyes said, he is our best player, our best defender. Sorry, let me rephrase that, and one of our best players. Now, Moyes has a job to do. Okay, around. He's got a job to do around setting our team up to win a game.
Yep.
In the same way that that Roy Hodgson did yesterday, and there was talk that he wasn't going to start. He was going to start, and then when someone sent me a message saying he started, he's in the starting lineup. I thought, you've got to be kidding me. Like, honestly, I thought that was the situation. And listen, we were far from perfect, but we got there. You know, the performance wasn't great. And let's be honest. Watford are not a formidable opponent. They're not. And let's be honest. We did all right. We came out. The players weren't lying around. They wanted to get stuck in, and I personally thought, throughout the first half, I thought we were quite tigerish. Yourself?
Yeah, listen. I think that, putting aside all of the shenanigans that have gone before, let's just put that to one side. You can argue about the sort of like the rights and wrongs, and one thing I will say, and I'm just going to say it, and it's dealt with. As a player, I think Kurt Zouma is a fantastic player. As a person, I think this has demonstrated him to be a complete scumbag. There, done. That's dealt with. As far as the match was concerned yesterday, I thought he was one of our standout players. I thought he had a very good game, irrespective of the circumstances. And like I say, I'm not getting involved in the sort of like the rights and wrongs. I say I've made my case. I think he's a scumbag. The footage is there for everyone to see, and it's quite damning. But the authorities need to go through the due process. I understand that he's not going to be involved the Leicester game. Whether he should have been involved yesterday is, that's a matter for your own judgment. But David Moyes picked him. I thought he performed very admirably on the night.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he was going to be against it, Rob. He was going to be, up against it. He was going to be, it wasn't going to be easy for him, you know. And I'm not saying it should have been. I'm not saying that he should have had the what have I done here? There we go. I'm not saying that you know it should have. Listen, these next few weeks, he's going to really, really come up against some real backlash, and rightly so. Rightly
Yep.
so. Listen, I'm not. Yeah, all day long, mate, and I can't. You know, there is in no way, shape, or form am I going to condone anything from this man. I'm not, and I've been determined. I've done it again. Oh, I'm just going to turn this down. It'll be easier, won't it? I'm trying to find out who it is that's jumped on Facebook and sent us a comment. In no way, shape, or form does this man deserve to be innocent in all of this. The proof is there. You know, the Sun newspaper, I believe, were the first one to release the video, and
yes, that bastion of good taste and high standards in journalism.
Listen, they came into the possession of this video. They came into the possession of this video, and they decided to release it, and they're right.
Guess it's their job, yeah.
So. You know, I did find, you know,
Simon.
I have, you know, yeah. Listen, I'm not going to go over it. It is what it is. He's done it, and what follows now is entirely what happened. So you know, it's already created a big mountain. So it's just something that needs to be, you know, dealt with by them. So you know, whatever follows.
Yeah. I got to say, Simon, on that, I have been looking at Scott's his Canning Town Len, and it is a thing of beauty. It has to be said. I'm getting a little bit like that, Ken. I'm getting to the point where I'm just like, oh yeah, we know, and I'm not trying to downplay it, but it's being dealt with. It's being dealt with by the authorities. You can have an opinion on should he have played, yes or no, but at the end of the day, the decision was made. It's not our decision to make. We can agree with it, disagree with it, whatever.
And Moyes is there, Gatesy. Moyes is there to pick a team that is there to give us the best, chance of winning the game. To answer Gavin Kendall on Facebook, he was the guy that's put the Facebook message in there. That's a completely different. That's a whole different kettle of fish right there. I get that, you know, what's happened has happened with us, but I think that's kind of people are going hysterical over this, and I just don't think we need to be, as such on here fueling the fire. I did something yesterday on the Facebook page that kind of people jumped on and decided to start battering each other with. So, yeah, I'm going to go. Listen, he started. I think it was the right thing for Moisey to do, given the regard that Moisey has to pick the best team to give us the best chance of getting a result, and he did that yesterday. So, moving on.
So, anyway, that was the team that was put out. I got 9 of them right. I didn't say, I said that Kurt Zouma wouldn't play, but this was obviously before all of the stuff came out, all the footage came out. I said that I didn't think he would play because of the injury that he picked up against Kidderminster, and I thought it was going to be Diop and Dawson. I also said that it would be Johnson at right back instead of Kufal, but I got 9 out of 11. That's not too shabby, is it, Mr. Duke?
I have to say, when it came out, I was impressed. I was. I did.
It got better. It got better because as far as Watford was concerned, I got the formation bang on, and I got 10 out of their 11. The one exception was I didn't say that Tom Cleverley was going to be playing. I had it down as Seema playing on the left-hand side of Watford's midfield, but I thought that was pretty respectable.
Yeah, listen. You do all right. You do all right with this shit. I'll give you that. And I think that's
Do a bit of
your.
research.
I was going to say that pays testament to your research of it. I'm very impressed.
Because I'm a nosy sod. I like to know
Basically,
what's going on.
Basically, yes.
Yeah. But I like I say, I mean, I agree with what I think it was Scott said it earlier that they got he said they got some quick players and yeah, we did struggle to match them. It has to be said. We were the better team and again, whether you're someone that pays much attention to stats, they're the substitutes. Oh, interesting thing was, were you surprised that given that we had a game only a couple of days ago that went to 120 minutes that we only utilised one substitute? I found that quite strange.
Yeah. Yes and no. Listen, when you look at what's on the bench, and no disrespect to certain players on that bench, Noble, Yarmolenko, actually complete disrespect to Yarmolenko, correct. There's not much there, mate. Really, there isn't really too much of what you consider to be game changers. Maybe Lanzini, maybe Vlasic, and we didn't see a lot of Vlasic against Kidderminster that was of any cop. So when you look at it, there really isn't much on that bench that's going to change a game in a sense that we're struggling to get forward. Maybe Nobes could have come on and done a noble 360 every 30 seconds trying to keep the ball off the opposition. I don't know, but there's not much there. So listen, we were in the game. I say in the game, we were in control of the game.
Yes.
For the entire time. If I'm honest, I don't think they looked right scoring. So it wasn't a matter of bringing on defenders. What we did was we kind of just kept it tight with what we had. We brought on the one player that can unlock doors, and boy oh boy, we looked good when he came on. We looked good when Lanzini came off the bench.
Yeah, I agree with what Kent said. I thought that Lanzini's introduction did add a little something. I mean, he was put on the bench not because of his form, I don't believe, but more for the fact that my information was that there was a bit of an Achilles niggle that he was suffering with. So he obviously started from the bench. But I thought his introduction was it was key, obviously, in the goal because it was him that got the assist.
Lucky goal, Rob, wasn't it? Let's be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, it was, but sometimes you make your own luck, don't you? And to again, be fair, Owen's a hard worker.
He's tigerish, and I love that. He wasn't. He wasn't. He didn't hang around for anything to happen. He always tried to get things going. He tried to impact what was going on.
Yeah.
Listen, he's up and down that pitch. On that side of the pitch. You could have brought Yarmolenko on, and he could have tried to cheat it again.
God,
dived for a penalty. You wouldn't have wanted to see any cheatering. So it's struggling here, Rob. I'm really struggling. If but listen, Bowen works hard for his output, and we need to get lucky. We need to get lucky. And that there, I think him and Fornals, they both have this. They both have this absolute uncanny ability to find that key pass at the key moment. You saw Fornals with the pass with the outside of the boot into Deck on Sunday. you saw Lanzini with the right weight, the right correct. You know, it was all just, it all fell into place, and it was just great. But again, it took that one moment of magic in a game that was just so it's pretty ponderous going forward. It wasn't pretty, you know. It wasn't pretty to watch.
Who was your man of the match, Duke, from your vantage point?
He could have got it. He could have got it. He who shall not be named. He could have got it.
He could have, yes.
Lord Voldemort. Bowen for me. It just listen. It's the energy.
Yeah, that was a great save from Foster.
Yeah, well, you know, he hit the post as well, didn't he? Is that the one we're talking about?
Yeah, he saved it and pushed it onto the post.
Didn't it? Yeah, listen, he could have had a couple. I mean, he didn't. But yeah, it's a toss up between him and Voldemort.
Yeah. And I got to say, I thought that Declan Rice had again a standard Declan Rice performance. You know, he was like a lion patrolling the midfield. So
he was keeping control of his pride, wasn't he?
Yes. Anyway, so yeah, I thought it was a good performance from the captain. But we need to improve because we've got, obviously, we've had a bit of a run of games where I think it's fair to say that we've not really looked like we're flowing. Do you know what I mean? It looks like we're kind of obviously ground out a result against Kidderminster, ground out a result yesterday, narrow defeat, not a great performance against Manchester United, narrow defeat, not a great performance against Leeds United. So it's a bit sort of up and down. It's, as I say, the performances are not flowing. We're not sort of free flowing and sort of like buccaneering sort of like performances. And I am concerned, but the one thing that I sort of like try and sort of temper that with is the fact that we're facing a Leicester team who, it depends upon which way you want to look at it. I mean, they're not in great form themselves. I mean, they obviously got dumped out of the cup as the holders of the cup on Sunday and beaten quite badly by their local rivals, Nottingham Forest. So it's just a question of which Leicester turn up. But that's the thing that concerns me. But our form at the minute is, like I say, we're grinding out results the last two games. But what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'll be honest. If we play against Leicester like we played last night, I may well poo my pants. Right? For the simple fact that they're on a bounce back, Rob. They're going to be on a bounce back, and we could be caught out.
Neil.
Then yellow flowers, dandelions. We can be caught like dandelions in a breeze if we're not careful, because we could be just literally turned up and swaying while they literally walk through us. Because they're on a bounce back. They are in a situation where they've got to prove a point, and it's not. It's key that we put in a solid performance again against Leicester. I understand that, you know, we're going to be looking at a decent a team that's going to really come out. Just quickly, can we just may I just touch on a certain Mr. Dyer's tweet that he put out? That was amazing, was it not? Jared Bowen's on fire, and his
The fucking
in great form or something, wouldn't it? Or
the fucking bollocks.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, he's the fucking bollocks.
He's got a seal of approval from the prospective father-in-law, it seems.
Yeah. I was. I'll tell you what. Just quickly, I was downstairs listening to a bit of old school country earlier, Mr. Rob.
Yep.
John Cougar Mellencamp came on.
Yes.
Yeah, I was listening to John Cougar Mellencamp. Really good.
Yeah. A very a fine artist.
He is indeed.
Yes. Anyway, I've completely lost my train of thought. Oh, you're horrible. You are horrible. You're very naughty. You're very naughty. That's all I'm saying.
I was going to take it lying down.
I've only done the one.
Oh,
I've only done the one. I've lost count of how many you've done.
Who's older, you or your missus, if I may ask?
Me, 6 months.
Oh, 6. So she's not a cougar. Okay.
She's not a cougar. No. So she can't go on the prowl.
Anyway.
Oh, look who's just turned up. Better late than never, but he's always late.
The handsome one of the two.
The hat. Yeah. Devilish good looks. Sort of tigerish grin.
You get stuck for a few after a while, didn't you?
You git. Oh, why do you do this to me?
Because it's funny.
Oh, but sometimes you got to laugh, ain't you? You got no choice. But rate the team performance out of 10. What would you give them? I'll tell you what. Because we don't normally do player ratings, do we? Should we do player ratings?
Yeah, we can do, mate. Go on.
Let's do it. Let's do player ratings. Fabianski, your thoughts on his performance?
Didn't have a lot to do, did he? He was there. He could have just turned up and he could have pulled out a deck chair, put on a Hawaiian pair of shorts and he could have pretty much just had a chilled day and yeah, exactly. It was
6. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Can't say it was bad. He rocked up.
Made a good save from Tom Cleverley, has to be said.
Yeah, listen. Did he concede? No. Was he like under the cosh? No. 6. Job done.
Yeah. Vladimir Kufal. And if any of you guys in the live chat want to give your ratings as well, please feel free, as Kent's just done.
He wasn't great, and I really don't know what's gone on. I'd probably, again, we didn't concede, but there really wasn't much else going on for him. I'd probably give him a. Were you doing half points or not?
No, I'm going to be like Gio. I'm going to insist on whole points.
6.
6. Okay. Most of I don't know if you saw it on that graphic, but 52% of our attacks came down the right-hand side.
That's because he was trying to pass to the left and kept slicing it forward.
That's a bit harsh. We'll come to Issa Diop. No, not Issa Diop. Kurt Zouma, the other one.
7.
So you think he was the cat that got the cream?
He was. And I'm being for real.
Okay. Craig Dawson?
Actually, I'm going to go with Ken. Kurt gets an 8. Dawson gets a 7.
Okay.
Yeah, literally, because I can't. I've had to move him up to an 8 because there's no way we could have left it at
that. Okay. So you've gone Zouma 8, Dawson 7. How about Cressy?
again, I'm going to go 7 and be polite, but again, there really wasn't huge amounts. Kurt Zouma, yes, Ken.
Ken's joined in now. Oh, for God's sake.
Ken's conned on. I don't think it wasn't blatantly fucking obvious.
Oh, now the people in the live chat are joining in. Good sakes. Oh, it was bad enough when you started. Now everybody else is joining.
It was a good professional performance. It's a good professional performance from all of us.
Well, fair enough.
Can we just press the pause button?
Shut up. Cresswell. Give me a mark for Cresswell.
Cresswell, 7.
Okay. Do you want to elaborate?
Just because he's amazing. No, listen, I've got a lot of time for him. His delivery is great. His work rate's superb. Yeah.
Fair enough.
He's a good talent. Got some good talent.
Fair enough. Earned his stripes.
Mm.
So, Declan Rice.
8.
8.
8. Just because again he's just commanding in the middle of the park. You know,
Lionheart.
He's a Lionheart. I shared something with the group earlier today about some. I think it's the Forever Bowling page on Facebook.
Yes.
Shout out to them. But I do believe heads and wobbling need to come to mind when he turned around and said.
I left a comment on that as well.
Oh, you did, yeah.
I did, yeah.
Just like if Declan Rice should admit failure in this. What was it? He said this experiment that he's doing because he doesn't create anywhere near enough goals as we need, nowhere near as what Souček
we
did
scored
last
more
season.
than we did last season as a team.
We also have conceded more, but that's because I again on the other side to that, I think, but and then he finished it with if he doesn't want to do that, then maybe he should go play for another team. Huh?
Oh, he's really gone for it. He's really gone for it.
Ken. Lying around.
Oh, God. I'll tell you what. When I see you up at London Stadium, mate, I don't know whether to laugh or cry.
Keep going, Ken. Keep telling me. Keep coming with more.
Bastards. Oh, Souček. Give me a mark for Thomas Souček.
6. He was just there. He turned up. Yeah, listen. He wasn't magnificent. He wasn't my problem is on paper it works. But we're not playing on paper. We're playing on a football pitch, and if you can persuade me otherwise, Rob, I might change my mind. If you could persuade me.
Persuade you, okay. Just one thing though, just on this little slide, look how many aerials he won. 9. Quite impressive.
Yeah, but again, he's 15.5 foot tall.
He does have a step ladder.
That's too easy. I reckon he spent some time with Rice whispering in his ear.
Yeah, I've got a step ladder. Never knew my real ladder.
Never knew your real ladder. Hey.
Moving swiftly along. We'll go with Pablo Fornals.
7.
7. Reasons?
I was to say you need more.
Yeah, why not?
Listen. I know people dig me out because I've said it before about Fornals. His work rate is off the ball, on the ball. His work rate, I feel personally, is second to none in that team. I think he covers every blade. You know, he's Yeah, I just think he's that one. You know, he.
Oh, he's done it again. Oh dear. So
I tell you what,
what you're saying is you think that Pablo Fornals really is the cat's whiskers?
He is the cat's whiskers. It's not the bee's knees. It's cat's whiskers. What I will say is, I don't know if I noticed when Souček was playing last night. He had a scar.
Oh.
He had a scar right in his eye.
Okay.
And he gave an interview, sounded a bit like Jeremy Irons at the end.
Fair. Saeed Benrahma.
Oh, he was shocking.
Really?
I actually thought he was really, really poor. I have to say,
the runt of the litter.
He was the runt of the litter out of it all. I've got to say, he's only actually beaten to the worst score by, and that's only because I was allowed to give half points. He's only beaten to the worst score by Soufal for me. I get that it's his first game back from the AFCON.
No, he played against Kidderminster.
First Premier League game back. Sorry.
Right.
Since the AFCON. And it keeping the pace of it all and everything else. I felt he looked pretty poor. I can't go any more than that. To be honest with you.
Okay, we'll go to Benny gets a 5. Yeah, I think again he was trying. There was plenty of endeavour there. It just didn't work. I don't know if he's trying too hard again, but hey ho. Jared Bowen.
Well, he gets a 9 from me. He would have got an 8. The goal and pulling the save from Foster bumps him to a 9. It would have been an 8 with the goal, and his endeavour, his work rate. He didn't stop running. He hunted everything down. I'm not going to apologise for giving him a 9.
You don't have to apologise. It's your opinion.
You're allowed it. Places, and to think that he could get anything less would be absolutely preposterous. So yeah.
Okay, and we'll go to the number 9, which is Michail Antonio. 6.
I'd really again
fairly ineffective.
Mate, that's being polite. That's actually being polite on him. He was actually quite diabolical. I've got to say, he's been this bad for about 3 or 4 months now.
I promised I wasn't going to talk about the transfer window, and I shall keep to that.
Yeah, no,
you know what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I just saw Kent's comment there about Jared Bowen. If he's not wearing the shirt with the 3 lions on it, come the next call up, he deserves to be a part of that team.
Something would have to be very, very amiss, in my opinion, for him to not make it. Especially if there are certain people that do make it ahead of him. I just think
talking about a certain winger at United right now.
There's a number of people that I could probably say that I think would probably get the call ahead of Jared Bowen, but shouldn't. In all honesty,
I watched the Bundesliga game, Dortmund versus I think it was Leverkusen.
Yeah,
on Sunday, and Bellingham was very, very uninterested. He was absent, very noticeable by his absence, even though he started. I think Dortmund got beat 4-1. I think it was in the end.
They got mauled.
They got mauled. They had the Leverkusen turned up. They got their claws into the game. Dortmund actually were like kibble. That barrel, Rob. I'm there. I'm scraping. But Bellingham was quite poor. I'll keep going back to that one. That's all I've got. And for me, Bowen, if listen, I will be, you will be, everyone in the chat will be. Jared Bowen, for the most part, he'll be furious if he doesn't get a call up.
Yeah. I think he'd be entitled to roar his frustration.
He would.
But we'll see. I'll keep my fingers crossed for him. If Gareth Southgate is a man of his word and picks purely on form and not on reputations of the past, then Jared Bowen will make the next England squad as and when it is announced, barring, God forbid, injuries or a drastic loss in form. But I don't know. I just got a sneaking suspicion that it will be the usual suspects.
I think it could be quite catastrophic if he doesn't pick him, and would be a massive, massive catastrophe.
Yeah, I agree.
And you need to help me out.
We'll go with Lanzini because obviously he came on. He played a decent chunk of the match, so I'll let you mark Lanzini.
8.
Is that purely for the assist, or?
Yeah. Listen, would have been a 7. 8 is he's got the assist. You can't deny he's magnificent to this team. He pulls something out of the bag every
Rebecca agrees.
Rebecca, is that Keeble or is that Kibble?
No, it's Keeble.
Oh, that's Catherine, isn't it? Sorry, Keeble. Yeah. She's a keyboard warrior. Is our bet lover.
I don't think this is obviously isn't a Rebecca that I believe we've encountered before. Is this someone you know?
This is Rebecca. In fact, her partner was behind the bar serving on Saturday, Rob, for the Kidderminster game.
Oh, really?
Bex is Paul's partner.
Paul's other half.
Evening,
okay.
Bex. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
You've missed quite a lot.
Well, that's a matter of opinion.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
Agreed. So shall we mark David Moyes as well?
I give him I give him a 9 for standing by his principles. I give him a 10 for having the bollocks to Phil Frere. I give him a 10 for having the bollocks to stand, but to be a man of his convictions, Rob. Listen, there are people out there that are going to think that he was wrong for what he did. It sends the wrong signal.
Yep.
But then he's also going against the mandate in his contract to pick the best side, to send his team, put him in the best position to go out and win. So I give him props for that. I really do. There would have been a lot of managers that would have bottled that decision. And again, in some cases, rightly so. But he is a big fixture of our team, and I give Moyes 9 out of 10 for the team that he picked, but 10 out of 10 for showing some bollocks and having his being a man of conviction and being a man of his word. He signed a contract on the word of his word that I'm going to do my best for this club, and he felt that was the right thing. Listen, we got the win. There were a few boos. I'm still unsure whether there were some West Ham fans out there that booed when he touched the ball. I know
probably.
From what I've read, though, across different social media platforms, that I was sitting here and no one around me was booing, and I was sitting here and no one was around me, and I'm not being funny. If the amount of people that put that, there was probably 300,000 people in that stadium last night, because there must have been so many people sitting near other people that weren't booing. I think there was probably about 67,000 people sat around the away end at one point, that only heard the Watford fans booing. So it's one of them, isn't it? And considering all the attention that was on him, considering all the pressure that would have come from starting that game last night. I think he carried himself. He got his head down and he worked, and that's all I could have asked for him. Obviously, he's now going to be missing for X amount of games, whatever the case may be going forward. Again, rightly so. I'm certainly in no way, shape, or form defending that man. But for those that are calling for him to be sacked, I'm very concerned by this. As you said, if you cancel his contract, if you sack this man, as long as he signs for another club before 12 o'clock on Friday, he can be turning out for someone else as a freebie on Saturday afternoon. And you can't tell me that no one won't pick that man up because he's an absolute, beast of a centre back. He's still a fantastic player. Yeah, he's done wrong, but then let's be honest, all of us at some point have done wrong in our
exactly.
lifetime. We have to learn from our mistakes.
Everybody deserves a shot at redemption. I don't think that there's many people in life outside of paedophiles, murderers, and rapists that can not be rehabilitated, shown the error of their ways, and gain some sort of maybe not credit, but the little bit of respect, if is that even the right word? Do you know what I'm trying to say? That they can sort of like right the wrongs, hopefully.
Yeah, I think you can't. You just listen. It's a very bad situation as a club we find ourselves in. With we're becoming a figurehead for something that we don't really want to be a part of right now. And atop that is Kurt Zouma, and we have to be careful because you've got. There are certain people jumping on the bandwagon, as I said to you before we went live. Chris, what's his name? Packham.
Do you know the one thing that does also concern me? And I'll get this out there because I don't know whether anyone's really given this too much consideration, but everybody's getting on the case of Kurt Zouma, and with good reason, absolutely correct for that to happen.
I think what he's done makes him a scumbag, if you ask me.
Yes.
But,
not going to argue with that.
Defending him.
But I do wonder whether, because you remember what happened with Caroline Flack. She was accused of doing this, that, and the other with a boyfriend, if I remember rightly. And the next thing you knew was reports that she'd committed suicide, and then all of a sudden everybody's going, "Oh, you don't know what people are going through. Be kind," and all the rest of it. And it's like, well,
here we are.
I'm not saying that Kurt Zouma's about to sort of like top himself or anything, but you never know what someone's going through until sometimes it's too late.
Rightly so, as we've as you and I have discussed offline, he's had the cats taken away from him. Rightly so.
Yep.
He's been fined a significant amount of money, and I don't get these so-called celebs and so-called others in certain areas that are stating, "Oh, it's a drop in the ocean to him." Yeah, it probably is, but you're still going to miss £250,000. Let's not fuck around. I don't care who you are. We've said he needs to go to a rehabilitation, bit of training. Yep. It shouldn't have to be training that you don't hurt animals. Yeah, all right. We should say the same about the fact that we stuff pigs in fucking crates to kill them and all the rest of it, and fucking feeding chickens with all this lot. Again, this Ken, you're the voice of reason. You really are, and I'll be honest with you. I'd already made a conscious decision. I really didn't want to give this too much airtime because I am getting pissed off. You've got, what's his name? Was it Chris Packham?
Chris Packham. Yeah.
He
watches really birds for a living.
Really wild show. Washed up fucking has-been TV presenter decides he wants to give himself some sort of credibility now by tagging every single West Ham sponsor in a Twitter feed. saying that, is this what you think? And we've already lost vitality very much off the back of that tweet, because they replied to his tweet saying, yes, and because of this, we're pulling ourselves away and we want to be in no way, shape or form associated with West Ham. Now, my concern is, when does this stop? When, you've got the state or the Kissimmee in Florida is saying that they're going to pull their sponsorship. All right, you give us the £200 holiday, you brat, shut up. But they're also the ones that sponsor and advertise.
That's careful. Maybe a little bit too much information, Hammerhead.
Careful what you do with that loofah. Yeah. Kissimmee have SeaWorld plastered all over their website. Last time I checked, you're against animal cruelty, but as long as it's not a company that pay you a lot of money, I don't understand. So my argument here is, where does this stop? The guy needs to be given a chance to be able to show us that he can do better. Oh,
I'm on it. Yeah, I'll nail that one. Bye.
Yeah, of course you will. He needs to be given the opportunity to prove that he can become a better person and that he's learned. If we keep beating this man with a big stick and telling him he's not going to get that chance, then so be it. All of these people that are attacking him because they feel that he's going to go on and you sure now you're not falling asleep?
Yeah, I was going to say, are we sort of like a cure for insomnia? I don't know.
He's going to go on to become a serial killer because he hit a cat. There's a definite link between people that abuse animals and kill animals as children. They will grow up. I would say that
some might. Some might. A small percentage of them might, but it's probably a small percentage.
It's probably minute, Rob, in the grand scheme of things. I only found out today that Marcus Alonso, Premier League football player, killed a woman through drunk driving. Allegedly. I'll put that in there. All right.
Okay.
Allegedly killed a woman while drunk driving, and he's still a Premier League player. No one seems to be on the fucking back of this geezer right now. I can't, I'll tell you what, you take a look at what happened with David Goodwillie when he signed for was it Wraith?
Yeah.
In the window. Jesus, Spurs have scored.
Yeah. Oh dear. Oh dear.
I just don't see. I honestly don't see how this man can attempt to make amends.
Well, there will be some people out there that will never forgive, never forget.
And that's fine. That's fine. But how can he have his shot at redemption if all we're going to do is keep smacking him down? And for me, we're willing to give other people the benefit of the doubt for certain things. Yet, this guy. And there's no proof as to when this was done. I'm hearing grumblings that it happened while he was in the employ of Chelsea. I don't know how much of this is true. I don't think it.
Well, it was uploaded on Sunday, but as I say, I don't think necessarily that's really terribly relevant.
Everyone's saying he was laughing while he was doing it. I heard laughing, but it sounded too close to the camera to be. You see what I mean? Maybe the camera holder.
Possibly.
We don't listen. We don't know, and it's frustrating. Yeah, there you go. He has done wrong. I had someone walk out the pub earlier because she was vilifying him and kind of jumped to his defence, and I asked her, did he's an abuser of animals. Did you pull the legs off of a daddy long legs or the wings off of a daddy long legs when you were a kid? Did you try and burn ants with a with a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
Did you ever pour hot water down an ant's nest? Because it's the same fucking thing. Get off your horse. Let those without sin cast the first stone, and there are very, very few, very, very few that can use that statement and say, "I am without sin." Listen, guy needs a second chance. There you go. He needs a shot at redemption.
Absolutely.
And you know what? I'll have a great time in forgiving him for what he's done. He scores the winner in the Europa League final. He's going to be a long way towards me forgetting and forgiving if he scores the winner in the Europa League final. I'm not, and I make light of it, but it's amazing how, as football fans, we can forget. Chelsea fans. Chelsea fans still sang the name of a racist philanderer for a hell of a long time, and still consider him to be one of their club legends. For me, the whole racist thing with John Terry, I don't think there was a comeback from. Yet the guy's Teflon. He's nothing stuck. He still managed to come back from it. Zouma's no different. Zouma can come back from this.
Yeah, absolutely. As I say, I believe that everyone deserves a chance at redemption. Like I say, I will say that there are certain sections of the criminal fraternity that I would say that doesn't apply to, namely rapists, murderers, and paedophiles. I'll say that. I'll state my case openly as far as they're concerned. I don't think that they can be redeemed. Outside of that, I think everybody deserves a chance to try and make amends. And as I say, I'm just concerned of all this pressure being heaped on the guy. He's a human being at the end of the day, and we don't know what this is possibly. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be a punishment, because obviously there absolutely should, but I'm just saying, because like I say, I do remember Caroline Flack was going through all this turmoil. She was getting all she had a court case to deal with. She had this, she had that. Paparazzi on her door taking photographs, and probably had her phone tapped and all sorts of nonsense like that. And she pulled the trigger on her life. And I don't. That's probably a poor choice of words, actually. But you know what I'm saying. She ended her life whatever way. And like I say, in the wake of it, I remember there was people. All of a sudden, it was like, oh, be kind, be kind, be kind, and here we are again. And and it's probably the same people, half of them, that were saying be kind in the wake of Caroline Flack taking her own life, that are probably now jumping up and down and saying, sack him, he should never be involved in football, you should do this to him, do that to him. I tell you what, why don't you tar and feather him, for goodness sake? Why don't we bring the death penalty back just for Kurt Zouma? Really, give me a break.
The way people are talking, Rob, you'd think that that's what they want for him. I mean, as Ken says there, I'm still angry, Ken. I'm still angry that he felt that kind of behaviour was okay. To chase the cat around the house with a pair of shoes and throw shoes. It's not good. You're telling me other people out there have never smacked an animal across the back, or because it's shit in your bed. You're telling me you haven't picked your cat up off the bed because it's just done a piss, and you've kind of just tossed it to one side, thrown it. But again, I'm still angry at that, Ken. I've got to be honest, I am angry at his behaviour. But I looked at it straight away very differently. I wasn't the one for... again, Moyes as a manager has still got to do what his contract states, and that is to pick the best team to give us the chance of winning. Now, if the club had come out and turned around and said, as a club, we're banning him from the squad, we're suspending him per an internal investigation, which took him out of the firing line, then so be it. That could have been the club's decision. Ken, I think we're both in the same boat there, buddy. I do. But I was already in the mindset. I have watched the video. I know there are some out there that can't. Gacy, I don't know if you've seen it yet.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it
now.
Like I say, I think he's a scumbag, but I don't think he's irredeemable.
I did state straight away that it shouldn't cost him his career. I did state straight away that I felt that, you know, I think the first thing I actually said to you, Gatesy, and to others was that, you know, a fine, some charity work with regards to a cattery, if you will, go make him spend, you know, 3 weeks cleaning out cat litter trays, you know, cleaning up the shit in cat kennels, shit like that, then, you know, so be it. A big fine that goes to charity. That's been done. That's already been taken care of. You know what? If the club decide to suspend him without pay for 2 weeks, which means he misses maybe 3 games, so be it. Then, you know, punishment, crime, etc. Let's move on. But you can guarantee that there will be others that continue to bang the drum until either, you know, as you mentioned with Caroline Flack earlier, Gatesy, that he decides that enough's enough and he takes his own life, and then all of a sudden those people beating the drum are the ones going, "Oh, why didn't he reach out?" Because of people like you prick. That's why. Now fuck off and leave it. But that's where I'm at. I'm beginning to get more angry in a sense of, as I say, the drum beating and those that are trying to ruin a man's livelihood.
Mm. Should we knock it on the head there, me old mate?
Yeah, we need to. I feel because that's
I could tell. I could tell.
I tell you what, people in the West Ham fans in the chat here, there have been some online that I've seen, and they've been fantastic. They are, you know, there are some that are going, "Oh, fucking kick him out of our club," but for every one of those, there are probably 8 to 10 that are like, you know what, the guy deserves a shot at redemption. It's wrong, and he's a scumbag for what he's done. But, and then you've got the ones on the other end that defended him, just going, "Oh, it's just a cat." Well, you're fucking idiots as well.
Yeah, no, I'm somewhere a little bit more middle ground. What he did was wrong, but like I say, he deserves a shot at redemption. But there we'll end it. Please don't forget to like, comment on, and share the stream.
Is she all right in the background?
She's just said out a very rude word. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for alerts on new content. And as always, guys, we thank you very much indeed for your support. Duke, what are we?
Oh,
hang on. Goodbye. You are the weakest link. Yeah, I quite enjoy doing this in the background from time to time. Just they pop up and
I'm glad you do, because I want to click one.
Put your claws away.
Say we are. Well, I'm going to come away with massive, Rob. I'm going to say we're most hated right now. As a club, we are most hated.
Next week it'll be someone else. Come on, you Irons.